In today's tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how I made this beautiful balaclava beanie. It's another design that I saw online on Pinterest and that I wanted to make for me. So I'm gonna show you here the photos that I used as inspiration, because there's a lot of options you can change for and customize for this beanie. You can make different colors here and stripes and other things. And so I'm gonna be explaining to you guys how I made this ribbing on the bottom. This ribbing is made on the machine, okay? And all this part here is made on the machine as well. All you're gonna need is the front here. The front I worked with the circular needles just to give it a better finish, okay? You're gonna need a crochet hook as well, just to bind off stitches, and 2 rows of 2 different colors if that's what you're using. But you're gonna use around 60 to 70 grams, so a little bit less than 1 row of acrylic yarn. This is just worsted acrylic yarn, okay? I think if you use a double knit yarn, it's probably too thin, but if that's what you want, and I saw already mohair balaclavas, very thin yarn balaclavas, if that's what you're after, you can use that too. So let's get into it, guys, and make this beanie. I'm gonna explain to you step by step how to do it. We're going to start here in the first needle, needle number 1, and we are going to use some waste yarn to start, okay? So I'm going to cast on with a contrasting color of waste yarn, and I'm going to cast on all the stitches. Two or 3 rows, it's enough, I think. After the last one, put the yarn inside and then change to the color you want to make the neck part with. I'm going to make different colors on the neck and for the rest, the top of the beanie. I'm going to crank with this color around 30 rows. This will change for other sizes, and I'm going to put the other sizes in the pattern down on the description below, okay? So you can download the pattern on my website, knittingmachinepatterns.com. I have a lot of nice tutorials there for you guys, and articles and everything about knitting machines if you want to go there and check. And also I have a free beanie PDF file you can download when you subscribe to the newsletter, okay? So go there and check it out if you're a beginner. And so I'm going to start cranking here. Make sure you put the counter back to 0, and then you can start cranking. Choose the best position to put your yarn, depending of the yarn you're using. I'm using the second one, and now I'm going to start cranking. Now I made my 30 rows here, and I'm going to then cut the yarn because we're going to change to the other color. What we are going to do from here, we're going to release 8 to 10 stitches. I'm gonna be releasing 8 because I made a test before and that worked for me. So leave the yarn here and work 8 needles with no yarn, okay? Just open it until it releases the yarn. See? Just release the yarn there. And then what we're gonna do now is from this one to the last one, we're gonna remove these stitches in a waste yarn, using waste yarn, okay? Because we are not gonna use these stitches anymore, so just remove them from your machine. And this is gonna be the hole of your beanie, so it's gonna be 8 stitches. Now if you're making for a man or if you're making any bigger, consider making a little bigger hole, okay? But again, this is all calculated in the pattern for you guys. So now I have this 3 here that are open, I'm going to just start my way back because all these are already secured. And then I'm going to grab the 3 other stitches left here. And then I'm going to just leave this yarn inside. So all that 8 stitches are secured inside this waste yarn here. And I can make my way back to that first stitch. I'm going to add the new yarn. To start working the head part of my beanie with another color, okay? So just put it here. We're going to be working on the panel mold. Don't be scared, it's not that hard, okay? And now it's just really crank it back, okay? So making my way back just like this. Don't be scared. It works exactly the same way of the tube mold, but there's a little trick that I'm gonna show you when I'm back to the other side, okay? So start cranking. When you get to the other side here, all you have to do, and see I'm holding the yarn with my hands instead, so it's just easier, okay? Don't put much pressure, let the yarn go pass through your fingers. And here what you're gonna do is you're gonna go one further. So this next needle will make sure the yarn goes under this piece here. Okay, so then you can make your way back. Pull it tight a bit. I always use my finger here. So I pull it on the beginning of each row. And then that's all you're gonna do. Okay, again, further one and then back. Apply some pressure here with your finger and make your way back. Okay, now with this yarn, let's make 38 rows, okay? So the counter doesn't work anymore, so you know you're gonna have to start counting the rows manually, or you can use Tap app on your phone where you tap and just count. It's a lot of options. So keep making until you have 38 rows, okay? Now I have made here 38 rows, and now I'm going to make my way back, and I'm going to work all the way until I have 15 stitches left on this side, okay? So if you want to count them and place a marker, you can do that. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 is gonna be here. So number 34, okay? Number 34, or if you want to add a marker, just add a marker here. So we're gonna make the rows all the way till we reach the needle number 34. So 15 stitches we are not going to make, so put the yarn in, release that stitches from the needle. You need to find a way to secure these stitches, because if you keep going, they're gonna drop, okay? They're just gonna fall off the needle. So to do that, I'm gonna use the same yarn. And you can use another yarn as well, but I'm gonna use the same one I used for here, the beginning, just to not have that many yarns hanging around. And I'm going to bind off these stitches here all the way to where my tail is, okay? Okay, as soon as you put all the stitches in there, they're secured, you don't need to worry about them anymore, and remove this tail. Now what we are going to do to keep working, grab that yarn back and go back all the way until you reach that first needle that has the yarns still, okay? That has the loops in the hooks still, so we can keep working. Now we're going to repeat the same thing to the other side, so count 15 this way. Number 23, just place a marker if you need. We're going to make this row just all the way to number 24 then. When you reach 24, you're gonna have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches still in the needles. You're gonna put this yarn back in there, and then we're going to release these last stitches out of the needles and repeat the same thing. So bind off with the other side of the tail or a new tail, just a new piece of waste yarn if you want, okay? Just drop that waste yarn in, grab this yarn, and we have to make our way back to start the row. Okay, put it under here and inside the thread thing. And now from here we are going to make 28 rows. Okay, so count or tap on your phone, whatever you do, 28 rows with only this 10 stitches. Okay, again, this changes a bit depending of the size. If you want all the sizes calculated for you, I'm going to leave the pattern down in the description below. And you also help my business and help me to keep buying more yarn to make new patterns for you guys, okay? Okay, so I finished my 30 rows here. I'm going to cut the yarn and release that needle. So I'm going to leave like a little longer yarn, around 50 centimeters of yarn, so I can seam this part later. Can't really use this one, okay? With another one, I'm going to just remove all the stitches from the needles here. Okay, so right now, if you wanna try this on your head and see if this height works for your head, you can do that. I would advise you to do before you start seaming this balaclava. Just try on yourselves and see if the height of this is enough for your head, okay? If it's not, just undo it and restart again. So I made a mistake when I started the first side, and well, I left a stitch here, which won't matter because we're gonna finish them later anyway. Just make sure they are both aligned like this, because that's important to make the ribbing on the front after, okay? So I'm going to start right in this stitch right on the last one there, and I'm going to make a knot here in this last stitch, the first stitch or last. And then I'm gonna go to the other side. As well, it's good to start on the edge and not in the middle, because when I got there, as you can see, it was right at the same spot. So I think it's better this way anyway, but you can try yourself, see what you like. And then from here, from that knot there, I'm going to go through this one from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top, so I make the same V I have underneath it. And then pull it tight, and then I'm going to start working in this first row here, so through that second and third stitch. First row and like this. And then pull it tight, and then here from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top of the next one. Gets easier while you do it. It's just the first few stitches are a bit confusing to find. And here the next one, always in this first stitch here. So now this is what we have. And now try again, see if it really fits, see how you go, because we are going to start making the ribbing of the front. Now guys, this is a set that I got, and it's perfect to work with circular knitting machine, so you can finish the projects. I'm going to use 5mm needle, and that's what this is so good, because you have all sizes here, so I'm using a 5mm. I'm gonna start casting on these stitches here. I'm gonna leave the link for that interchangeable needles down in the description below for you guys. You can start casting on these stitches down on the bottom, to then start removing this waste yarn because it's a little annoying. Guys, if you like, I was gonna say, if you like balaclava, just leave me a comment if you want me to make more balaclava designs, because I have a few ideas for other balaclavas as well. So if you like this tutorial, just leave me a comment there, let me know if you'd like more balaclava designs, okay? So then I can grab the next stitches here. So I'm going to go straight to the next one here and pull it. This is gonna make my ribbing, okay? And then skip one and into the next one. We have to be really careful here, because it's good to skip one stitch every now and then, but not too many, okay? Otherwise your ribbing will be too tight on your face. So what I'm thinking I'm doing is I'm going to go through 3 rows. So that's 1, 2, and as you can see, I'm working right on the next space, okay? And then I'm going to skip 1. So I'm making 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm skipping 1, okay? All the way to the top. So when I get to these top stitches here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hook through, and I'm gonna make them already. So I'm going to just knit them, really knit them with a hook, so I can keep working with that same yarn. Otherwise I would have to cut the yarn, put the stitches through, and then put another yarn on the other side. So what I'm doing here is I'm knitting the stitches with a crochet hook. That's all I'm doing. And so they are the same color as well. Okay, repeat this all around, and then repeat the same 3, 2, 1 here on the other side, okay? So now, as you can see, all my stitches are in the needles, and so you know I have 78 stitches around, okay? You should have something similar, otherwise it's gonna be too small for you to fit your face here at the end, okay? And I placed a marker where I started my rows as well, because that's where you're gonna start binding off after, okay? So I'm gonna show you one more time, and I did this same ribbing in a few tutorials, so I'm just gonna quickly show to you guys how it works. But it's basically 1 knit stitch, and so every knit stitch is gonna be on top of the next one, okay? So purl stitch, the little thing on the top, knitted stitch, the little V, similar to the stockinette stitch we have underneath it, okay? So just repeat this around. Now you're gonna make this ribbing as long as you want. If you want more coverage on your face, you can make more. I'm thinking I'm gonna be making around 5 rows only, 5 to 6 rows maximum. So I'm going to just repeat and work around 5 or 6 times. Now, to bind it off, I'm here on my last stitch where the marker is. I'm going to knit them all. So knit 1, knit 2, and then pull the first one on top of the second one. Knit and pull it. Okay, now if you want to make this bind off a little loose, what you do is this loop here, the first loop, has to be a little looser. Okay, so it's, as you can see, it's bigger. So at the end, this is not going to be tied. The second one won't matter much, but the first one has to be a little wider like this one, a little more open like this one, okay? And that's how you make the ribbing a little more loose at the end. So just to make sure it's gonna fit your face there. And then, so keep doing this all the way around until you are back to the beginning and there's no stitches left. And now to make the bottom ribbing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stitches through a circular needle again on the bottom, okay? Just so we can remove this waste yarn because we don't need it, okay? And start right here where the last stitch is, here, and then pull through the same way on all this, in all the stitches, okay? So now that we put all the stitches here, and right now, like, if you think this is, I'm thinking this is a little too long, okay, but I'm not gonna remake it right now. But if when you finish you thinking this is too long, all you have to do really, it's really easy. You can remove the needle from here and just put in a knot in the spot you want. Let's say you want this long, okay? All you have to do is remove. I'm going to actually do that now. Okay, I'm going to remove this from here just to show you guys as well how it can be done. And then what I'm going to do, let's say you want it here, not that long, okay? You just choose the row you want to put it through, okay? And you're gonna grab always that same row, okay? Make sure you grab always the same row. I placed all my stitches in the needle, so they are all secured, and now all you do is just unravel. Now I'm going to leave this yarn like this because we need to bind off after. I have 20 rows instead of 30, so what I'm going to do here to make the ribbing, I'm gonna make the ribbing like I made on another pet sweater that I made before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one stitch. Okay, so just open all the way to the bottom. You can start anywhere, it doesn't matter. And you can make a 2x2 ribbing as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them the opposite way. So the other way. And just so you have to have a knitted stitch on the purl side. Okay, so just flip it over because it's easier. And you're gonna work this all the way to the top. Now I have, as you can see, I have a purl stitch here, and then I'm going to be this here in this needle, the second one in this needle, and I'm going to open the third one again. Okay, so repeating the same thing I did before, all around until you are back in this same spot, okay? And then we're gonna bind off the stitches. Now guys, this is the last bit we have to make. That's how it looks like now. I actually really like it. Anyway, let's remove the ribbing, bottom part here. And here you have to be really careful because as you can see here, it's not many stitches. So we have to be making this really, really open. So because the yarn's right there, you need to remove this first stitch here. And then we'll be knitting the second one, okay? We're gonna knit them all like we did before. And always making sure that first loop's wide open as well. Otherwise you won't fit your head, okay? So then make the third one, pull the second on top of the first one. Make sure the loop's long again. And keep repeating this all the way around. It's exactly like we did before. And then I'm gonna show you how it looks like fitted, okay? And so this is our tutorial for this week. And it matches with this beautiful bag that I'm gonna share down the description below as well. You can make this bag, you can make this yarn on your Sentro machine and in any size Sentro machine, okay? Or you can use your Addi egg if you have one. So I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Leave me your like and let me know if you want to see more balaclava projects in the comments down below. Thank you for watching guys, and I see you in the next tutorial.